Hi everyone, welcome back to the British Magic Time Cup.
Welcome back.
We're in round 5 now, about to go into round 5, so the ID is going to start. People are going to start drawing into the top 8 now.
Yeah.
We have a match, this is not the case. We have Daniel Cocking, who you've already seen on camera, playing the blue-red Eldrazi, versus Travis Manuel, playing green-red Goggles. So he's playing the ramp. He is the artist for this beautiful little token here.
Although he's very foolishly not playing his own tokens.
Yeah, like he's not playing Gideon.
If you design a token, you definitely want to be able to go,
exactly,
I'll make a token with my Gideon, don't worry, I've got my own.
Like kind of like showing it off, this is my token.
I think Travis isn't that kind of guy, so that's fine. For IDs this round, we've only had table 1 ID, because this is table 2 and it's a pair down. Dan's 4-0 and Travis is 3-1, so might be a bit of a tight squeeze next round actually. It might not be as clear cut as possible. Might be a couple. Who knows? What happens on table 1 might affect things, or you might have some people play out to try and push people out.
So,
always a weird one.
In terms of the matchup, we've got, like I said, the green-red Goggles.
Yeah.
I think this is a very hard matchup for the green-red Goggles player.
I mean, it feels bad to put on camera, but I think the blue Ulamog deck's just going to beat him up, and he's going to say counter, I'll ramp a little bit, but I disrupt your ramp while I can. If you don't do anything relevant, I can ramp in my end step with Majoring Network, and then I'll play my Ulamog.
I mean, the usual way that the Goggles deck kind of wins is by fireballing the opponent in the face and doubling it.
Yeah.
And if the opponent has the ability to go no.
Well, it doesn't count at the copy, does it? So it
doesn't. But
there might be a weird board state where Travis is going, I'll fireball for 20.
Yeah.
You can counter 1, but can you counter 1?
Good luck getting the Goggles in play, though. That's all I'm saying. I think it's going to be.
I think you need to pick a very good spot to slide the Goggles in.
Yep.
And then after that, you can use things like Tormenting Voice to sort of rip through his deck. He can definitely get up on cards to sort of just brute force his way through the counter spells.
Yeah.
He's got 2 Traverse the Uvenwald as well, so I guess that can help search up things like World Breaker to blow up the.
Once he has Delirium,
Well, it can blow up the Majoring Networks, which really slows down.
That's very true.
Even if it's countered, it's still gone.
Yeah, it's on cost.
And there's a Miser's Dark Dwellers as a one-off main.
Yeah.
Now the only thing I can think is if you go sort of like turn 3, Nyssa's Pilgrimage, turn 4, Dark Dwellers flash it back is like the best sort of value play game 1 anyway.
I mean, it's a good value card. You can also flash back Traverse the Uvenwald to tutor again.
Yeah.
It seems fine in the deck. It's also a 4/4 that can hit your opponent in the face if you need to hit the opponent in the face.
Yeah, if you're sort of both just durdling about a bit, I guess you can just say in for 4.
Right, we're about to go down to the match now. The players are getting ready. Looks like they're just resolving mulligans. Travis won the dice roll, so you've got your green Goggles player on the play, and it looks like he's happy with his 7. Daniel, not so much.
Dan's going with it. Didn't look always good.
No, yeah.
Didn't look.
Dan's
been listening. Dan's been listening. But yeah. No.
So, like I say, I think being on the play is going to be a slight advantage to Travis. He's going to have to try and get through the counter magic quickly and efficiently again. He just has quite a few dead cards as well. He has Fiery Impulses and Code Lock's Return, which don't really do much against Dan. I mean, they can wipe out Eldrazi's Scions, which is really not what you want to be doing.
I mean, it's a niche thing where if he's got them, they're going to be sat in his hand for a while.
Yeah, exactly.
He'll eventually find the one use for them that's probably really quite good, but in general, they're just going to be sat there, and when he draws them, he'll have a look of anguish on his face. just why is this here?
Yeah.
But,
So Dan's kept his 6, and Travis is playing a Game Trail, revealing a Cinderglade, I think that was.
I'm not a fan of this. The reveal past do nothing. You could just put it into play tabs.
Well, if he has a Fiery Impulse in play and doesn't know what his opponent's playing,
I guess. Plus, I guess in a red deck you want to constantly represent Fiery Impulse.
I'm not sure what you're really trying to snipe on turn 1 at the moment.
Well, he might not have been fully aware of Dan on the blue Ulamog deck.
Yeah, that's true. Right, so we've got Traverse the Uvenwald. At the moment, only searching up a basic land. Eventually, with Delirium, it's going to
that seems a bit weird.
Going to go and get. Well, I think you want the forests in your deck so that the Nyssa's Pilgrimages take them out. So you want to get the most amount of forest that you possibly can. So getting mountains is fine.
That makes sense. Is this Pilgrimages forest, not basic land?
Yes, it's only forest.
Yeah, okay. Don't know about ramp cards too much. Give me the mid-range cards. I'll do those all day. Ramp cards, not for me.
Yep, so relatively slow starts, as we're expecting from both of our players, just kind of setting up mana.
They both want to set up and sort of cheat their way to their big stuff, but they still have to spend the first 2 or 3 turns.
So there's the aforementioned Majoring Network. As we've seen in the previous game, it looks like he's He can hold up a counter spell. He can, play anticipate, or he can just charge up the majoring
I see
network.
something like this here where he's, if he feels it's necessary and he's got the counter spell, he can counter that.
Yeah.
But I think Mrs. Pilgrimage isn't that big a target anyway.
I don't know. I think it's one of those ones. If you have the counter, you probably do counter it. I think you want to stop Travis getting to high mana before he can, because you don't want him casting World Breakers early. Because it destroys your land anyway.
I guess
you don't want the majoring network getting there. So I think if he had the counter, he would have countered it. So there we go. Travis getting to 4 mana, and then there's a tap land from Daniel and a pass back.
I think in downtown we've got a Drowner, Chandra, and a Spatial Contortion, but I don't know what the others are.
So here we have a Tireless Tracker coming down on the board, and looks like we're going to have a land drop and a clue created.
Yeah, I think that's
There's
good.
that mountain.
Spatially controlled.
Yeah, this is going to be dead, I'm pretty sure.
Even with the clue cracking, it still dies till he does the fall through, but
Let's see what Dan decides to do. He might decide to charge up his majoring network if he's got something to play. I've got another play of Tormenting Voice from Travis. So he's going to discard a card and draw 2.
Yeah, very. I think it's an underrated card, especially in limited.
Yeah. There we go. There discards the forest that he just got from Nissa's Pilgrimage.
It's not exactly. It's not card advantage. It's card selection in places, but
yeah.
It's it's pretty good. Well,
So
filtering really.
So Dan decided to charge up his majoring network.
Clearly valuing the extra mana this time around.
Yeah.
But I guess.
There we go. And down goes Tireless Tracker.
I guess now he can hold up a 3 mana counter spell.
Yep.
And he's killed that, so that makes a bit more sense.
And also he gets to charge next turn and play Drowner of Hope.
Oh, that's huge. Yeah. He might be going for the plays we saw earlier when we saw him play, where he wants to use a mage, one fully charged majoring network for as much of the mana as possible, and then just the coloured sources elsewhere.
Yeah.
So he can hold up as many different signals.
I think that's
many different spells
exactly
possible.
it. Yeah.
It's very solid to be able to do that.
So looks like a replacement Tireless Tracker. Oh no. No, it's gone back into the grip. Oh, just Nissa's Pilgrimage.
Doing a Nissa's Pilgrimage. I think that's Spell Mastery, yeah. We've got the Nissa's Pilgrimage with Tormented Voice. So we're going to get 1 forest and 2 more, actually. 2 to hand, 1 to play. Nice and easy. No.
Yep, so Mrs. Pilgrimage played. He's leaving up the mana to crack the clue at the end of the turn. If he so desires, I suppose he could crack it now if he really wanted. Plays the forest. And another play. There we go, Tireless Tracker. Sequencing on that seems a little bit off. If he plays the Tireless Tracker first, then he gets extra clues. So I'm not 100% sure on why that's the I mean,
maybe
you can play around a counter, but
I'm not really sure it does, because if you play the tracker first and then he goes to counter it, you have more mana to fight the Clash of Will style counter spell. So
yeah,
unless he maybe he values the land a bit more, or he's just sequencing incorrectly.
I think that was it. So there's a Chandra coming down, killing the Tireless Tracker, and I think we're going to start to see that the World Breaker come down. I think there's one in his hand.
Yeah.
So I think we might be saying goodbye to. I don't know whether it's going to be.
You've got to get rid of the majoring straight away.
Well,
when you get rid of the majoring, the shrine's one more land behind.
That's true.
3 red sources, so there's not, and the Chandra's already out, so it doesn't really need the
I think removing the World Breaker is going to be very difficult as well from Dan's deck, from what we've seen.
Definitely. Yeah, I think Travis is just asking, does it need 7 lands total? That's the only thing I can think the signal of 7 means. But,
So yeah, there's the World Breaker hand, along with 2 Fiery Impulses. I mean, he could use those to save life by killing Chandra.
It's their best use.
Yeah, there's not really anything else you can do with it.
There could be worse things to do.
Yeah.
I think he wants to blow up the majoring network straight away. Come on, Travis, there is no question.
He could go for the Fumarole. Not that it attacks through a World Breaker.
He's low on
ever.
mana, and he can sit back and chump block.
Yeah, it looks like he's going for the Fumarole.
The best thing the Fumarole is going to do is chump block, because
the thing is though, now the World Breaker's in play, how long does he have to charge up that majoring network? Because he's going to be taking either 5 a turn. I think that plays fine. I mean, I agree with you. I would have gone for the major ring network personally.
With the double impulse in hand as well. Like if
Yeah,
Travis ever goes
triple
for
impulse, I think that is.
well, Jesus. If Dan ever goes for any play to blow out Travis by like switching the power,
Yeah.
you can just impulse it straight away. And, you know, you can switch the power back, but then it's neutered and it's
So, I was going to say it wouldn't
So we're gonna
surprise
draw
me
some
if
cards.
Dan zeroed.
Yeah. This might be as we were talking about earlier, one of the times you use the zero because you don't want to force damage through.
Yeah.
You don't want to board wipe because you can't. And
Yep.
the only thing that's left to do is this.
So he's got his Hedron Archive in play, 3 mana still up. I'm not sure he's got anything
Can't
to do with it.
anticipate, Drowner of Hope and
Human
Human
Reef.
and whatever. I think it's
Yep.
another land, if I'm honest. Yeah, he played the Shrine this turn, didn't
Yes, he did, yeah.
he? Yeah.
And there's Goggles off the top for Travis.
He's got
So-
2 Shivers.
Yeah. So it looks like the Goggles will resolve. And I mean, things get scary when Pyromancer's Goggles. So Pyromancer's Goggles, for anybody who doesn't know, it copies any red spell that you cast.
Yeah.
So you get 2 copies of that spell. It works really well with cards like Tormenting Voice, which we've already seen. So you'll discard a card and draw 4, which is frankly ridiculous.
It's a very expensive mana rock, but
Yes.
I mean it generates a red itself, so that's something.
Yep.
But for 5 mana to copy any spell isn't effect what people would play.
Down goes Chandra.
I think from like a coverage side of things, it's always. I think a lot of people have fear of the card because it always is the flashy plays. Like when the deck first came around, it was at the PT and people were, you know, Fall of the Titans and double fireball in people's face, and it was this card's insane. It's still very good, but I think a lot of the sort of generalised plays they're a little bit neutered when you put a 5 mana investment in it. So if the only
Was it Brad Nelson who was playing this at the Pro Tour, I believe?
it was I think him and Tim Eureka, I think. Tim Eureka. But informed that Dan top 8 the WMCQ with this deck.
Oh, okay, yeah, great.
So clearly knows the deck quite a bit. It's clearly not a bad deck, either that or
No.
it's done alright.
So I mean, it's very good.
I've seen it a fair bit on Magic Online.
Yeah.
It's,
I've been stomped by it, like I said previously. So
so he's just anticipated, he's taken an Ulamog off there. I think the other choices were a Spell Shrivel and a card I didn't quite see.
nothing particularly relevant at the stage where you've already got a World Breaker in play and Pyromancer's Goggles.
Oh, I'm talking about for Dan. He just anticipated
That's what I mean. I think you want an Ulamog to be able to destroy those threats, and counters don't really do anything when they're already in play.
Oh yeah, you definitely take the Ulamog there. So what have we got?
There's Drowner of Hope.
So that's 3 tokens, I think.
2 tokens.
So yeah. I think we might see 1 sack to tap it this turn. And then
It buys time. It buys time for Ulamog to come down.
It might take the hit actually, because it depends if he wants to sack them both for Ulamog, because the Ulamog can just blow up.
Well, I think the Ulamog comes down next turn anyway.
Maybe. But I think we want to. Oh, here we go, it's the draw 4.
Yeah, the draw 4. Magmatic Insight, discarding Forest, drawing 4 cards.
Well, it looks like 3 of those are lands, so.
Yeah. I think Fall of the Titans from here is almost lethal next turn. If he has Surge.
But I think the Ulamog is going to come down.
Yeah, exactly, taking out the Pyromancer's Goggles. So when Ulamog enters the battlefield, you exile 2 of your opponent's permanents.
What is cast? It's nice for the battlefield.
Oh, cast.
Eldrazi do not care about counter spells.
Yeah.
It's probably the reason.
Very rude.
It's probably the reason that blue control decks are on the way down anyway, because there's a lot of.
This is a blue count. What about a blue?
Well, it plays its own Ulamog as well, anyway.
Exactly, that's what I mean.
I think the name of the game is if you're going to play control, you have to play your own uncounterable effects.
Yeah.
We've got a Mindslaver in the next one as well.
Yeah, that's going to be
with
fun.
Emrakul. I think that's going to be a very good card.
Yeah, I think we're going to see a lot of fun things with that card anyway. So Travis has a massive hand right now. He has a lot of cards. I think 3 of them being Fiery Impulse are relatively useless at the moment. I mean, he can just double Fiery Impulse that Drowner of Hope down, which I think might be the play.
I think we're going to traverse.
Yeah.
I think we're going to find a new Ulamog.
No, we're going to find that we can chain World Breakers.
Why are we chaining World Breakers?
Because I don't think
I think Travis has had a think, and I think he's decided, because he's put it back to his deck. Does he not have an Ulamog?
There's no Ulamog in the deck.
So he's just training World Breakers. That would make sense.
Yeah. I think he's trying to traverse with that on the stack, Fiery Impulse there.
He's traversed, and then in response, I think Dan wants to sack a Sile. So I think he's going.
No, I think he doesn't have Delirium.
Oh.
And he started.
And he didn't hold priority.
Yeah. Well, he
Oh,
started
dear.
looking through his deck already, so I'm not sure. I think there'll be a
I think
judge call
because
on
he's
this.
I think because he's picked up his deck, he's attempting to he's resolving the traverse the even world.
Yeah, I think we've just had a judge go down to the future match, so this will be resolved quite quickly.
I think this is definitely because he's cast traverse the even world and he's beginning to look through his deck. He has attempted to resolve it. Dan said he's past priority, and he's by picking the world breaker, he's just picked an illegal target. So he'll instead have to pick a legal target.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. We'll see what the judge says.
Well, it's Compario, so I don't think he'll be able to roll back and hold priority. So I think it's definitely going to be he gets to untap his mountain.
Instead of assuming, let's just wait for the judge to make his.
I've got to fill some time. Plus, baseless speculation is the most fun thing to do ever.
If you say so. Trevor's just writing down what a mess on a piece of paper.
I think he might be holding that up to camera.
Yeah, I think. I think he's just hidden it away to the side. But do you know what isn't a mess? The beautiful artwork that he's done on the playmat down there.
Did he do the playmat as well?
Yeah, he did the playmat as well.
Travis is just the resident artist.
He is, yeah, apparently so. It's really good.
There's a joke in here about you can draw cards, but you can't draw world breakers. But I'll leave it for people at home to pull that home together.
I'm sure they won't. Not after that terrible attempt.
It just butchered, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
it was. It was awful.
From start to finish.
Butchered a bit like this turn.
I mean, the resolution of this Traverse the Even World has gone to pot, to say
It
the
has,
least.
yeah.
I think he also picked up his graveyard to check beforehand as well.
Yeah, exactly. That's
so
what,
I think that's the most confusing thing for me.
So, right, okay. I think we've got the Traverse the Even World resolving now.
Getting a bit shaky down there as well.
Yep, there we go. He's putting his what a mess. Yep. Thanks, Travis.
He's on a clock, all right.
I
If this
mean,
goes to a tie,
Yeah.
he'll rethink about his what a mess then, won't he?
Right, so the Traverse the
Yeah.
Even World has resolved. He's just got a basic land because he didn't check properly.
Yeah.
Didn't have Delirium.
I'll tell you what, I'd be really annoyed if he just drops Dark Dwellers and casts it again now. We've done all
Yeah, but,
this.
yeah, but
to
then,
sort this out.
then he wouldn't be able to cast the World Breaker anyway, so
Well,
it's
yeah.
slightly worse.
But as in, it's a bit of a.
Yeah, I think
tilt.
that's a big misplay
I
there.
think. Yeah, he won't forget again.
No.
I think if we see him again today, he'll have Delirium written on the back of his hand to double check every
Yeah.
time.
And, if he doesn't, I think we can berate him for it, so, it's
Oh,
just,
definitely.
yeah.
I think
it's only fair, isn't it?
It's all upside for me.
Yeah.
But no, bit of a weird one. So yeah, I think either he notices beforehand and he fire impulse or something, or
Yeah.
if he holds priority and does it. But with Dan passing priority and him searching,
Yeah,
there's no
exactly.
going.
There's no going back from that. We are at Compario here. So.
Let's see if we can salvage something from this Traverse the Even World mishap.
So it looks like he's attacking. It's a bit of a weird one here because he's already shown the fiery impulse. So
Yeah.
Dan knows not to try and block with everything.
I think Dan definitely says I'll just take 2.
Yeah.
Take 5 even.
Takes the 5.
Yeah. It's like the dueling Sylvan Advocates, and you just no fear attack, and you just have to no fear block. Unless of course they're representing drugs.
Yeah.
But the little things.
So discard the end of Travis's turn, and
We just traversed for that.
he doesn't want it. He's like, So the Even World wasn't worth going through, was it? Let's face it.
Clearly
And
not.
spawn in bed that Dan's just drawn into play, and I think we might see Ulamog here. He's counting up his mana.
I'm counting 8 lands, but 2 of those are Sanctum, so that's 10 on its own.
Yes.
Doesn't need to pop the.
I think he's going to keep up a blue just to.
Well, I think he's going to tap his mana better than I could think of. So
And there we go. Down comes Ulamog. We'll see what's coming, what's dying. I'm going to assume he's going to excel the World Break in the Pyromancer's goggles, but we shall see.
I think he's initially counting to see if he's dead to a surged Fall Titan, which I'm fairly sure he is. So he's going to get rid of that. I think we're going to get rid of the creature just because it's either that or a land that he's got multiples of. There's no real colour you can get him off.
Yeah,
So
there we
there's
go.
just
They
no
got
benefit.
the two non-land permanents go down, and it's looking pretty good if you're Dan cocking, really.
It looks like Ulamog's going to take it again.
Yeah, and he's going to slam in for 7 as well.
I think Travis needs something really quite good right now. I don't know what. I'm not even sure what the deck plays. I'll just have a quick look.
Yep, 1 fiery impulse. He's checking for spell mastery, being very, very clear and concise about his movements from now on. And down goes the Drowner of Hope with those 2 Fiery Impulse that, to be honest, we're doing nothing else in his hand.
Well, so Travis's goals deck doesn't seem to play any sort of main deck answers to a Resolve Ulamog.
No.
Outside of Fall the Titans, he's just got to Fall Titans in the face for 15 and hope he can get it done.
Yeah.
It's not lethal on the board yet. It's only the 12. It's not quite. He can go to 6. I say only 12, but it's enough that he lives and gets another turn.
Yeah, like he can go to 6 and exile the top 20 cards of his library. You know, I think things are fine. Hope that Dan doesn't have anything in hand, which subsequently he doesn't. He has 2 Shiva Reefs in hand. But I'm still struggling to think of a way that Travis can come back from here, seeing as Ulamog has Indestructible as well.
I think the best thing he can do is this turn, fall the Titans for all of his mana on a Scion on face, and then next turn hope to do it again.
That's even if he has Fall of the Titans in hand.
I said this is the best thing he could do.
Oh,
I didn't say it was likely.
Okay, fair enough.
I think he's probably impulsing the Scions next turn. Or he's impulsing one of them anyway.
Yeah.
But the Ulamog's
I don't think that changes the clock though.
The Spatial Contortion.
Yeah.
We're going to see the Contortion my own Ulamog to get in from a beat.
I mean, that is a play that he can make. I'm not saying it's the good play that he can
It's so
make.
niche, and it doesn't even speed up the clock, so it doesn't make any sense. But
So I think he should do it.
it is the classic, I've still got this.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So I think Dan's just working out what he wants to do. I think, first of all, just smack you in the face.
He's had a good think, and he's going to turn his creature sideways.
Have we got the old one at a time?
Oh, Travis, don't
he's
slow roll at
it.
a time.
There we go.
Right, this is what we're going to see.
Oh, there we go. It's a little bit
4, 5,
quicker. Here we go. Here we go. This is better. This is better. Travis knows what's up.
Travis knows that he's on a clock, and with his Traverse Judge Call, we're already some time down. Obviously, he'll get that back. But, you know, you don't want to be rushing. You don't want to be worrying about time. Play quick when you can. Yeah.
And there goes all those things into exile. I think Travis is working out whether he has any way to win. Yeah.
I think he's had a look.
Scoops him up.
His goggles have gone, his Fall of Titans have gone.
I think all his mill breaks have gone as well. It was quite a good mill.
It was not a lot of lands, probably in Travis's hand or field.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we've got sideboard in now, with Dan up again. Thoughts on what? We'll start with Travis. What do you think he'll bring in?
Looking at that, I really don't know. Nothing there does anything.
I don't think this is a matchup that he's particularly sideboard planned for.
I mean, the Den Protectors, maybe. I mean, they get back stuff that's been countered.
I think the Den Protectors are fine because they're like an inherent 2-for-1 if you resolve the Den Protector, it's a 2-for-1.
I think I'd probably bring in just the creatures because you have to take out the Fiery Impulses because they don't do anything, and the one of Kozlet's return. I think the Chandra probably comes in. I think the Dark Dwellers and the Den Protectors maybe Ataka.
I think
because Ataka kills Drowner of Hope.
I think from his main, he's taken out the 4 Fiery Impulses and the Kozlet's return.
Okay.
And then he's probably bringing in the 3 Den Protectors, the Goblin Dark Dwellers, and the Chandra at a minimum.
Yeah.
I don't think we're seeing much else. Like the Kozlet's return, we're taking one out of the main because it doesn't seem to do much.
Bending Volley does literally nothing.
I mean, the only thing I think with the returns, it deals with Drowner of Hope, but only on the flashback.
Yeah.
Not that.
Maybe. Yeah. I mean, I think.
But it's 4 creatures that Dan plays, and I think you can just make your deck. He needs to be the threat deck and just ask all the questions and hope that Dan can't answer one of them and it gets through.
Yeah. I think Dan will probably bring in the Thought-Knot Seers.
I think he definitely brings in the Thought-Knot Seers because it's the classic ramp style thing.
Yeah.
If you take if they have lots of threats and only a little ramp, you take the ramp and they sit there looking at it. Or you let them ramp into nothing and they have to top their threats.
You might even just bring in the Reality Smashers and then
it's a quick clock, isn't it?
I mean, I think that Reality Smasher, Travis won't really have anything to deal with that left.
Yeah.
And they'll probably just get through. I think the only way that Travis can really win is if he goes off and gets quite an aggressive draw with Tireless Trackers involved.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's very, very difficult. Fighting through the counter magic is really, really hard here. And the late game is just in so much in Dan's favour because he has Ulamog and he has Hedron Archives, which draw 2 cards. I think it's going to be a hard one, to be honest with you.
I think from a downside of things, I'd be bringing in the Thought-Knot Seers, the Reality Smashers, and the 3 Negates. And then I'll probably be taking out his 4 Spatial Contortions, the 2 Kozilek's return,
Yep.
because it's the exact same as it is Travis. Only the flashback
Yeah.
does everything, it doesn't do enough. And then maybe say one of the Jaces or an Anticipate, or it's sort of like you've
You can just like shave a number of something, yeah.
I think you still want all of your counter spells because you want to be like just countering or ramping every turn. If you're not doing either of those, something's kind of gone a bit wrong. But yeah, I think we're going to see the Thought Notices and the Reality Smashers.
Yep.
The Thought Notices disrupt, and the Reality Smasher is difficult to deal, and it's a quick clock and
I'm
gets
just
it done.
kind of hoping that we don't see another Traverse the Uvenwald mishap.
I mean,
I know I shouldn't go back to it, but you know,
it happens. Like,
it does. Everyone makes mistakes.
I think the sort of thing is like, if just as he casts it, if he just says, "I'm gonna search for X or Y," if Dan then says, Dan will say yes or no, basically, like, "Have you got delirium?" or something. Like, it's very niche. And
It was more the fact that he picked up the deck and started looking through it first, though.
I think he was very much like, in his mind, he was thinking, "I'm going to traverse Worldbreaker, blow up that land, and that stops the Ulamog." He knew his goal was to stop the Ulamog, and he was just, "How do I get there?" So he knew all his individual steps, and he sort of just was like, "Okay, let's get to that goal, bang, bang, bang," and it just didn't have delirium, and yeah. But if he sort of casts it and goes, "I'll cast this," and then Dan says, "Do you have delirium?" He goes, "I'm going to hold priority and do this." Like, it's a bit niche, and it's kind of like where Magic Online's a bit crisper for all the problems the program has. Like, it's a bit crisper in a sense of like, there's never the point at which someone says like, "Oh, do you have X or Y?" and you can sort of take the assumption of like, "Oh, are they going to let it resolve if they're asking me this?" and things like that. There's less like mind games and things like that. It's very like inputs and stuff like that. I like it. They need to improve it though. I'm not getting on that soapbox.
You doing like the classic thing
I'm not
of the
getting on
Magic
that soapbox
commentator
right
going,
now.
"Oh, I'm going to talk about online."
I think it's very good, but it just needs a little bit of improvement. But we'll put that to one side.
Yeah, please do.
So we're going to have Travis to play. Probably playing to stay in contention for top 8, although a loss to someone who's going to be going 5-0 will hold breakers a lot. So I think if someone's scooting in on X and 2, it'll be probably Travis, if Luke goes on to lose this. But you know, he's got 28 minutes to win 2 games.
I like how much hope you're giving to him already, talking about like...
I am just...
His breaker will be really good if he loses this. I mean, that's so nice.
Look, I'm just saying, if Travis is prepared for everything, prepares for his loss, it's all upside from there. He wins, he's well happy, isn't he?
So we've got a game trail revealing a mountain, and then we have a magmatic insight and drawing 2 cards.
Discarding the Drowned Temple as well.
Yeah, which is
so
great.
We've got some interactionless round.
So discarding to magmatic insight with the Drowned Temple means that on 3 mana you can put that back into play, which is great. Like I say, there's no way to interact with that. You just ramp, and it's an activated ability on the card.
Well, no ways in the current format. Scavenger News, etc. But they're modern. They're not this.
Yeah, another those. Yeah.
Are we going to see another? No, not another temple though.
Nope.
Yeah, so here we see Drowned Temple, just a colourless land, but 3 mana to return it from your graveyard to the battlefield tap. Nice little ramp spell. On a land as well.
Yeah, it's good.
They're very careful about putting spells on lands and how powerful they're allowed to be. I think if you compared them from years ago, they're just cheaper in the past.
Yeah, definitely.
Like the effects you get.
Well, I mean, if you look at, for example, I mean, no, it's not exactly, because it is definitely a spell land, but like Maze of Ith. Like, it's a free ability on a land. I mean, I know it doesn't touch for mana, but you've got like Tabernacle, which again doesn't have. You know, you've got ridiculous lands. I think they're definitely way more balanced now.
But as you can see, players are just playing some lands, so we need to fill some time. So we're just going to talk about better lands from previous games gone by.
All we're seeing is lands, so we're just going to think about better lands. Right, we've got Nissa's Pilgrimage, getting more lands.
I think Shrine's very good.
Yeah, Shrine is good. And again, it's another balanced one. You have to get to, is it 6?
7 lands total.
7 lands.
7 lands total, and it'll tap for 2.
Yep.
So it was. I think it was around for when its biggest thing was for Ugin.
Yes.
Was because you get to 7 lands, you have one of those. Like actually, 8th mana, you can play Ugin the Spirit Dragon. But sadly, he's gone. So.
And we all miss him so dearly.
I mean, I kind of do.
I think he was a good card. I mean, I really liked him around the standards. It was. Yeah. I think Dan would definitely like him in this deck.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
So we just stopped playing some lands. We've had 2 magmatic insights and then this pilgrimage from Travis, and playing some lands from Dan.
Yep.
So This is some real. This is
caliber
some
magic, isn't it?
nostalgic draw go magic right now. If you ever hear people say they like the days of like combo Winter Orb and Necropotence, and they love the draw go of magic, you're seeing it right now. Just without all those busted cards. And we're going to see the flashback of Mrs. Pilgrimage.
No, we're not.
Dan's got to spoil all my fun. Commentator's curse. Commentator's curse.
Gotta be careful with that one.
I know.
So down goes the Dark Dwellers, which is exiled by the spell Shrivel. And another land for Dan. And another passing of the turn.
He's got the Hedron Archives. He's obviously leaning on that negate, and I think he's got another.
He's got 2 spatial contortions.
Kept those in. Kind of surprised at that.
Yeah, me too.
I guess he wants to stop a tracker getting out of control.
That's true.
So
there we go.
clearly Dan knows something that we don't. Probably have to win this matchup.
Yeah, probably, yeah. Probably have to play magic.
Ooh, steady.
There's a land and
So there's a clue.
Tirelessly tracking. So I'm not sure this is going to stick around for very long.
Yeah, I don't know if the deck tech's played yet, but Chris made a bit of a pun on Tireless Tracker, but it wasn't that great. He just said this is. I think he started a pun and then stopped halfway through it. It was just on. I felt bad for him. Very good magic player though. Not a good punsman.
So we have a deck tech for you guys later with Chris Vincent.
Basically.
Yeah, playing a Naya deck. So we got the Cracking of the Clue after Hedron Archive was played by Dan Cocking. Drawing a card. Ooh, Den Protector. That might be quite useful here.
Yeah, gets past that negate down.
Yep,
I don't know if he's just showing us or if he's very ready to play that negate.
I don't know.
As every time he shuffles it out, it's always on top.
Yeah.
He changes it now.
No,
there it is, back again. But yeah, I think he's very much going to be leaning on the gate, stop anything like sort of explosive vegetation. Yeah. Definitely a traverse, or he might have delirium this time. Actually.
I'm not sure how great it is here though, because if he slams a world breaker, then you're looking a bit sad with that.
Well, I think Dan needs to sort of take the educated guess of like, I need to be ramping so I can start playing my threats, not sit.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, well, to be fair, even if he didn't, he wouldn't be holding anything up anyway. So there's a Tormenting Voice, discarding Forest. That resolves.
I think when Travis is on 7 lands, I think you might be considering negating the Tormenting Voice.
Do you think?
Well, sort of the actual ramp spells that give you additional lands, I think we're negating
Yeah, that's getting negated, yeah.
That's much better. But sort of like the draw spells now, I think of much more powerful once you sort of hit 7 or 8 lands, because the additional ramping is it's not that big of a deal anymore.
No, I guess not.
But I think we're going to see 2 lands in the archive to play another archive.
Yep.
And then pass the turn.
I don't know, I think he has a Drown of Hope as well. I think he's just going to put the Drown of Hope in hand here, there we go.
He's going to get 2 Eldrazi Scions.
Yes, 2 Eldrazi Scions.
Not 3.
He has a Spawning Bed though, which does create 3 Scions, which you can crack next turn.
That's what I'm thinking.
And you can tap down for days.
There's not much to tap down there, is there?
No, I guess not. But, you know, if anything appears, then he has the option.
Right, so from Travis's side of things, he sort of needs to be getting on the board.
A little bit, yeah.
Like, I know that sounds very obvious, but he's very, very quickly going to be put under the cosh and borderline locked out of the game, because Dan's now going to have card draw available when he wants it, as well as a lot of mana up.
I just don't know what he can do here though, because the thing is, Travis will be playing big threats. And he's going to play a threat, and it's going to get tapped down, and he's going to get hit with 6, and then the Spawning Bed's going to get cracked. I feel like it's almost a bit academic here. I mean, he could play a Chandra and -1 to kill the Scions as well, doesn't feel great.
And then the Drowner just straight away gets in there.
Yeah, and Chandra's down.
It seems rough. It's obviously why he's thinking a fair bit. But I think he needs to not be waiting around. Definitely playing as many sort of threats and proactive as possible, because as soon as Dan untaps, he can use a Hedron Archive on one of the shrines to tap for 2 mana, to draw 2 cards.
Yeah, exactly.
And then he has all mana left up for any counter spells he could draw, or any form of interaction at all. Whereas I'm unsure what Travis.
So I think he's looking for targets for his Den Protector. Oh no, he's thinking just Delirium.
Have we double checked this time?
Is he sure? Are we sure?
We've definitely seen a land, we've seen a sorcery, we've seen an artifact, and then the Tireless Tracker.
Yeah,
definitely
we're fine, guys. We're fine. No one panic. Well, there's Dragon Lord Attacker.
I mean, the attack was pretty good.
That's a really good one here. I'm assuming he's just going to slam that and destroy the Drown of Hope, but
I think he has to. Yeah.
I think he has to as well.
I think that straight away answers a lot of the board.
Yep.
The Scions are fine. Maybe down. I don't think there's much point in tapping in response to it because
I don't see
you're
why
getting
you
in for
would.
one.
You're getting for one, yeah, exactly. There's no reason to do that, and I think
you want to have as much mana as possible so that
he's thinking about it though. I think the likelihood is just let this die. You know.
I think that this is the sort of the way that Travis wins. Resolving something big on that turn, which Dan's tapped out.
Nope, Ulamog off the top.
I mean, sometimes it is better to be lucky than good, but at 4-0, Dan's got to be both right now. I think,
Basically, Ulamog.
Is that second Ulamog now?
I'm not sure.
Was it spatial
Down
contortion?
goes the attacker.
It's a good job he didn't sack. He would have only got in for one then.
Yeah. Yeah, that's going to make a difference right now.
Well, you know, quicker clock, isn't it?
Yeah, if you say so. I think it's the same clock.
I think
there's an Ulamog in play.
I think it's the exact same number of turns.
And I'm not really sure what Travis can do here.
Thankfully for Travis, my wonderful tiebreaker maths might come in use lately. You see, you thought I was being pessimistic.
you just knew what was up, is that what you're saying?
I think the blue Ulamog deck is favoured.
Yeah,
in this
I
matchup
think this
anyway.
is just a horrible matchup for ramp, for the green-red ramp.
Yeah.
I think it's really
I think when you're the
bad.
deck that's trying to go big, someone that goes bigger than you but in a less dedicated way and plays more interaction, it can sometimes line up better.
Yeah. The thing about, obviously the red-green ramp is just trying to go to as big mana as possible, as quickly as possible, whereas the blue-red just has much more interaction.
Yeah.
You know, traverse is nice. You can go and shoot a creature if you want to, like we've just seen. But at the end of the day, if you're just going to get slammed down with an Ulamog, and you've had counter spells to back it up. Although in saying that, Dan's only played 2 counter spells this game compared to how many he usually has. I just don't think Travis's deck durdles around too much. You draw 2 cards. You ramp a little bit, you draw another 2 cards, you're not actually impacting the board, you're not doing anything to win the game.
So it sort of plays on the draw to help it find the exact things it needs, but it's not like, say, the black-white deck where it loses with 1 or 2 cards in its hand unless it's had mana troubles. Like,
the saddest tireless tracker in the world. He is facing down a massive Eldrazi.
I think
he's about to get slammed in the face.
He's good to call it a day.
There's a morph, I wonder what that will be.
I think Dan straight away having a look going, what's actually useful? I think the worry is the goggles.
I think what he's going to come to is that there's nothing that's very useful in here.
But I think
he has blockers.
Yeah, I think the sort of tormenting voice and it gives you velocity to find the threats, but the actual card advantage, because you play so many cards that are dead late game, like Explosive Vegetation.
I think the real issue here is that there's literally nothing in Travis's deck that can kill Ulamog.
Well, that's the biggest thing.
Yeah, I was going to say.
On a sort of a macro level with a deck, like it can draw lots of cards, but it often doesn't play them all because you get to a point where your Vegetation's a bit of a waste and you're just spending them to spend mana, really.
So I think we might see an attack here. There we go. Here's the trigger, and here's the top 20 being exiled.
This is what I like, the counting method.
Yeah, you like
Slip it straight over. You hand them to your opponent, you say, have a look if you'd like, but they're exiled.
I think it's much nicer doing the 1x1. It's much more friendly though. Look, I've exiled this and this and this.
It's just rubbing, I think. But it's like reverse rubbing. It's like
like rubbing on yourself.
Look at all the stuff of mine you're exiling.
Well, now he's looking through his own exile. It's like, I couldn't win the game before. Now I can't win it even more.
Well, I think that's actually a good thing to do. Have a quick look and see what are my actual outs.
I think he's considering what to chump block with. Or is he just going to take the time?
I think the Den Protector's has got to meet the bus.
Yeah, definitely. I think that'll probably come next turn. But, Dan can draw 4 cards at the end of turn here. And if he finds a Drowner of Hope, then the game's over. So
I think it's close forever anyway.
It is. I'm not saying anything else.
I
don't think so.
I don't think so.
So there's a space. So there goes the tireless tracker with spatial contortion. Oh, does it go into exile or does it go into the graveyard? One's bigger than the other.
So we're going to flip and we're going to get something back. What's it going to do?
See what he gets
Go for the
back.
Hail Mary with the goggles.
I mean, what you wanting to do? Play the goggles and burn him for 4? I mean,
You want to be Hail Mary. You want to get the goggles and hope in your next draw step you fold the Titans, and then you get hit. Exile 20 cards. You've probably got like 3 left. You want anything to activate Surge, and then you just hope to burn the face as much as you can.
is that what you dream about when you play Magic? You go to bed and you think, so if this was the situation, this is
I
what
dream
I do.
about Tarmogoyf
Top
and
8 at the Pro
Abrupt
Tour, top 8 at the Pro Tour, you know.
I dream about Tarmogoyf and Abrupt Decay, although more recently it's been Glitter and Wish and Scapeshift, and it's horrible. I'd never recommend play it. Well, no, it's a lot of fun, but
You're right, he has
told you,
gone. I mean,
straight
yeah, I
away.
mean, that's top quality commentary.
You've got to play
you
for
know
your
what's
outs.
up.
You've got to play for your outs. Travis has had the same dream as me. He's going to rip the fall of the Titans.
Do you talk about your dreams together? Do you share dream journals?
I have a blog.
Oh, okay, that's nice. That's nice.
It's usually the ramblings of a madman, but sometimes
Oh, right, okay.
there's some top quality Magic players in there. It's
You're
outrageous.
saying you dream about Magic players?
And I dream about playing Magic.
Okay, alright. That's more acceptable.
Some Magic players do, but never in a good way.
Anywho.
So we've got the goggles in hand. We've got the goggles in hand, and we need a chump blocker for that Ulamog.
Yeah, even though I think that'll probably mill him out.
I think he's got a little bit more than 20, but maybe just a little bit more.
Yeah.
I think Travis needs to know how many cards he's got in his deck. If it's more than 20, keep playing. If it's not, call it a day. Get a drink and get ready for your final round. But, I think we can play the goggles.
Yeah.
We can hope to reform the Titans and a Surge. But even then, I don't think he has
No,
enough mana.
that's not enough mana. There's nowhere near.
I mean, maybe he needs to.
Because you'd have to cast another spell first.
The thing is, as well, if he ramps, he risks pulling cards out of his desk.
Yeah, exactly.
His deck even and putting him down to less than 20 cards.
I think it's safe to say that not a lot of decks are very good against Ulamog.
I mean, you can play things like Anguish and Making and
Yeah, but you
Stasis
still had 2
Snare.
lands exile and you take 3 and...
It's a 10 mana card. Like they
And then
couldn't.
World
If
Breaker
it
comes
had
down and
no
destroys.
effect, it would be a very bad 10 mana card. Like there's a reason they're pushing Eldrazi.
I thought it was just for fun.
I don't quite imagine that the Wizards R&D is 4 a.m. coffee cups everywhere and say we've got to do something. Let's give them
Like
uncounterable abilities.
2 weeks before release,
Yeah.
we'll just give them random abilities. That'll do.
Someone just goes, I've got it. Uncounterable abilities. And they just go, you know, I'm tired. I'm moving. I don't think it's. I think it's very well planned out. I think they are working on sets after sets ahead of this.
Yeah. So he's cracking the clue. This doesn't look very good, I've got to say.
It's not great, is it?
No.
Oh.
Follow the Titans
Is he
for
going to draw
1.
4?
He is going to
gonna
draw
draw
4.
I think he's gone below 20 cards now.
Yeah. I think his thought just realised now that this might not be the best way to win against an Ulamog. He just kind of like hovered over his deck.
The only thing I can think that he can do, he takes the hit off Ulamog, he goes to his upkeep, and he kills him in his upkeep before he draws the card that means he loses. It's the only thing I can think.
Is this from your dream journal again?
Before the Titan is
It's instant.
instant.
Yeah, it is. But you have to have another instant spell to cast with it.
He has 2 Fall of the Titans. One for red,
Okay,
and then
alright.
he surges the other one. But he also doesn't have enough mana. And there we see Fall of the Titans, a card that has had more like camera time, speech time, anything than in this 1 hour than its entire life cycle, I think.
Yeah, we haven't talked about that card pretty much full stop.
It's not like I've spec'd on like a million of them, and if they go up by 10p, I'm rich. But
And that's the game.
yeah, I think we've seen him all flip.
He's going to pass the turn, he's going to draw a card, but
Please
he
do the
can't.
upkeep Fall of the Titans. Please do the upkeep Fall of the Titans.
Oh, he's doing it.
Has he got 2?
Yeah, he's going to follow the Titans to 0.
I called it. It's not going to do anything.
No, it's not. He has a counter in hand, unfortunately, but...
Wait.
1, 2...
Hey, they've only been for 16.
Yeah, only 16. At least it was a fun way to end the game. He went down fighting.
Didn't he block with the Den Protector? Because he was still on the battlefield at the end. So I think he just went, yeah, okay. I think Dan attacked, and he went,
I think it was pretty irrelevant, to be perfectly honest with you.
Yeah, it's kind of like Dan sort of attacked and went, well, I've milled you. Yeah, we don't need to do damage, pass the turn. Like, which I'd highly recommend you don't do. Always do damage.
Thanks, Mark.
Always do damage.
Appreciate that. like
It's like an after school special,
Yeah,
isn't
it is,
it?
yeah.
Don't look at your top cards, always do damage.
Those two
Upkeep
things.
for the
Upkeep for
Titans.
the Titans. Traverse the Ulamog correctly.
Simple things, simple things. Right,
Alright, coming back up to us then.
so
So yeah, so that's 2-0 to Dan Cocking. And,
double for the Titans.
Yeah, double for
I
the
said it.
Titans didn't.
Didn't
Yeah,
have a
but
commander.
he lost.
Didn't have a commander.
I mean, it was a little bit of a one-sided matchup, that one.
The
I
counter
think-
spells and the round
Yeah.
against just round. The counter spell side wins.
I mean, we knew it was happening anyway. I mean, it was kind of set in the stars. Unfortunately, it's just an incredibly bad matchup with nothing in the sideboard. And to be fair, in green and red, I'm not sure there really is anything that can do anything to Ulamog anyway.
The best thing you can do is sort of play like smash effects, like destroy target artifact for that archives to slow them down.
Yeah, but once Ulamog's in play, then you have literally nothing. There is just, that's
Plus,
just game.
like I think realistically at tournaments, it's such a small part of the metagame that to
Yeah.
make the matchup actually not about 75-25,
Yeah.
you have to devote too many sideboard
Yeah, like, I
slots.
completely agree. I don't think you want to devote any of your sideboard cards to it because you take away from matchup that you can actually win. So I think putting cards in the sideboard for that is actually a mistake anyway. So it's just one of those where it's just unfortunate with the pairings, and I think you just chalk up to that.
But Dan might be 4-0 just because it's a very Dan's clearly a good player.
Yeah.
Top 8 with it at the WMCQ with this exact deck. It seems like the metagame here today is also very good for him.
Yep.
So he's clearly
No, I
in that
agree.
position, not just because of pairings, but like he's made a
there's
solid
definitely
deck
many
choice.
contributing factors to it, and so he can ID into the top 8 in the next round. So
I think
we'll be seeing him later.
I think he'll be IDing into first place.
Yeah.
He'll be the only 5-0 player. Table 1 with our 2 4-0s both ID. I imagine they're going to attempt to shake hands as much as possible this time round.
Yeah.
Dan will probably be in at 5-0-1 first place.
Definitely, yeah.
If I'm honest, I fancy him to do quite well. The deck seems really well positioned
Yeah,
in
and
the
getting out
metagame.
on the plays is
Being
very
on
important
the
with it
plays
as well.
is huge.
Yeah, you get those counter spells down early. You stop 2 drops. You stop 3 drops. You stop them doing anything that's actually damaging to you. It's a good deck.
No, I
and,
think
I'm
it's
expecting to
very
see good things from it. So
Very solid.
yeah. So
Right. So we're going to be looking at the sort of metagame for the day again. We've had it on earlier, but we're sort of waiting on things to take over, so we're going to fill some time so you're not looking at a blank screen, which is quite nice. I'm personally going to go get a drink, but we'll see you at the next round, and we'll have a little timer at the bottom of the screen here. Thanks very much.